Ridge starting from SharpshootingUK here. I'm out on the hill with a little Fireball, which is firing 25 grain VMAX at about 38.20, which makes it, you know, fairly nifty. I know it's only a 1.7, but that's a fast bullet with a BC of 0.23, so useful enough. What have I got here? Citron S3 6-24, got my level bubbles on there, DM80, Atlas with the leg extensions, the medium height Atlas Accu-shot. I'm on my own mat here, all comfortable. Got the wind meter here on a tripod. This is the Kestrel weather vane, and that's interesting because that's showing a sort of 10 mile an hour, 11 o'clock-ish type of wind. If that just sweeps around slightly to 12, you've then got no wind, and yet 10:30 you've got quite a bit more wind, so one has to be careful. So what I'm getting fed up of videos where all you see is things getting hit and no idea what's happening. So this is a realistic 200 to 350, 400 over there session where I'm going to show you one of what I think is one of the most important things about long range varmint hunting, is that you have to learn as the day goes on. Suss out what the wind's doing, suss out what the wind does as it comes down the valleys and moves over the terrain, work out what that does to your bullet and apply that data through the day. So I've just taken a test shot up here into these pebbles, and I applied a 10 mile an hour wind from 10 o'clock, sorry, 10:30, and that was about right. That put me on, I think, a minute and a half, 1 3/4, something like that. So that was a good guess. That would have got me a clean rabbit, so I'm going to apply that. But the wind is gusting up and down, so obviously I'm going to be having to halving and doubling and tripling my wind, my windage according to what the wind is doing moment by moment. So a fairly close range, but it's quite challenging. So we'll see how we get on. Okay, that was, can't remember now. Where are we? That was 330 yards, and I realised at the last second that the wind had completely dropped, absolutely nothing. So I quickly took off the wind, fired straight at it, done. On that last shot, I failed to bear in mind the slight drop in the wind, and therefore I had too much left on, too much windage, and I missed left. So there you have it. You have to keep constantly on top of the slightest change in wind, particularly when you get out to ranges where the bullet is heavily affected. Whatever your caliber, when you're shooting things as small as rabbits and crows and such like, you know, just a couple of miles an hour and you will miss. So you've really got to keep your observation up, and that often fails you when you get down on the rifle. You're all careful and calculating when you're looking at the target and you're taking your measurements. Then you get on the rifle, get settled, and you stop observing. And if anything changes, you've got your mind set, you've got your mind made up, and on you fire, and of course you miss, which is exactly what I just did. So don't do that, and you'll hit more things. It's also quite difficult to tell what the wind is doing when you lie down in the grass, but there we go. You haven't got any choice, and you just have to make the best of it. If you can shoot off the roof of a car, some cars you can, it really is great because you really do feel the wind much better. I'm also not a fan of parking the car upwind to protect you from the wind on the hill to keep you warm, because then you can't feel the wind. So better to be exposed, suffer the wind, and you can feel the small variations. I hope that was on film, because that was 400 yards with the Fireball. In a 14 mile an hour crosswind. That's 230 yards, 1.7 Fireball, 25 grain VMAX. I've been working out the wind. It's very tricky because it's sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock, and at that angle it can change exponentially very quickly, just in a few seconds. So I'm running 293 degrees and 14 miles an hour. So even at 230 yards I've got well over 2 minutes of windage on. But I'm confident of that because I've been here a while, made quite a few shots, and went for the headshot. Now I've just been faced with an easy 200 and something yard shot here, 205, something like that. And I had worked my wind out. There he is. So I got him. I'd worked my wind out. I've been working it out all day, and seems like an easy shot. Aimed at it, and then I thought, no, the wind's really dropped. It's hard to tell the difference between sort of 7 and 14, but I looked around and I saw that the wind had dropped on the wind meter just at the last second, and I thought, no, I'm going to halve my wind. So I went from 1 minute to 2, from 2 minutes to 1, and I got him. So you have to make sure that you don't take for granted the easier shots when you've got a variable wind, when you've been shooting much further, because anything wrong and you will miss. So I was pleased that, having learnt my lesson from my earlier miss where I stopped observing at the last minute when I got down on the rifle, I'm pleased that I halved my wind and shot him cleanly. I couldn't get it on camera because it's too low into the grass, but you just have to trust me.